If you don't have like a super oily skin, if you have dry patches, this is a video for you. Hi everybody, my name is Isa and this is Moody Makeup channel. Today we are going to do a review on TirTir foundation, the Mask Fit Red Cushion Enriched Coverage. For the longest, I didn't want to buy it because I have super dry skin and this is like a full-on coverage foundation that is supposed to really lock in. It has like a super long longevity, it's transfer proof, it's everything that an oily type of person, oily skin type of person would love in a foundation. And then I was watching Nicola Rose and she really sold it to me, so I decided to create a video on how this performs on very dry, sensitive skin. And like it was ordered, I have the worst skin ever. I haven't had so many problems at once. I mean, usually I'm really lucky with my skin. I don't have pimples, I don't have anything except of like redness right here and like dark under eyes. But now I was on holiday. If you haven't yet, you can check 2 vlogs that I did. But yeah, I have like so many little pimples on my forehead, on my chin here, and then I have like an eczema. It looks like that right here. So the concealer looks really like patchy and rough here. So let's just all ignore that, please. But for the foundation, it's great to have some problematic skin so we can really see how it works on top of some pimples and like rough areas. So if you're interested, then please keep on watching, but don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. Now let's just check it out. I bought this one in the shade 21N Ivory. So the compact, it's quite big, but then you open it up on the bottom and it looks like that. I think it has like a protective layer on top of a mirror. So it's quite a big mirror and it's actually a really good one. Then you have here like this spongy, cushiony tool for applying your foundation, and then you open it up and here it's a foundation. And it has this sponge right here, and once you press it, the foundation comes up. So let's just check how this is going to match on me. Even though that it's supposed to be neutral, it feels like it's a tiny bit more on the yellow side. Yeah, for sure. And it looks like it oxidizes a bit. But I think it's a pretty good match, like for not picking it in person with guessing the shade. I think it's going to work basically. It's not a perfect match, but it's going to work. Adhering Cushion Foundation keeps makeup fresh with lightweight powder and skincare substance. Prevents smudging of makeup in the mask. 24 hours makeup persistence in the mask. 72 hours makeup persistence. I'm going to do a test wear. I'm going to apply it with this little guy on my right side. On my left side, I'm gonna apply it with a brush in the way Nicola Rose recommends it. And then we will see how other products perform on top of this foundation. I'm gonna use the sponge. Take a little bit of the product and then let's just... I actually really like the feeling of this sponge. Okay, so I think I can use a bit more. So I think that this sponge actually works if you don't have beauty blender or brush with you. If you're traveling, whatever, you can use this sponge. It's not a bad tool at all. Usually when you get tools like this with the product, they're really bad. You cannot use them at all. So I've applied my usual skincare underneath. I haven't applied anything more dewy. The first thing that I immediately noticed is that it's not dispersing too much product. You get a little amount, just enough to apply the foundation and to not create a total mess. So I really like that. I'm impressed with the packaging and with the tool that you get with it. Yeah, I mean, it's a heavy duty foundation for sure. But even though that it's so heavy, I wouldn't say that it's like a super cakey. It's not at all. I have such a dry skin, so I can immediately see if the product it's not sitting right. Like, it's a makeup-y foundation, if you know what I mean. You can see it on the skin, but it's nothing like too much. It's like you are wearing a good high coverage foundation that you can see, but it's nothing crazy. It doesn't feel cakey. So it sits on top of my blemishes, alright. It goes just a tiny bit darker than the first application. So it's nothing too much. It's nothing to worry about, but like if you're somewhere in the middle, you can choose a tiny bit lighter. So this shade actually goes really well with my body right now because I'm a little bit tanned from the holiday, but my face is way too light for my body, so it goes well with it. But in the wintertime, this one would be too yellowy, too dark for me. But you can see the difference, right? You can see the yellow undertone right here, and this is my natural shade. Nothing too crazy, but yeah, it's not like a perfect match. Let's check out how it works with brush. So I'm not sure which brush should I use with this one. I'm just gonna try with the most like used brush. This is round kabuki Sigma brush. And I'm just gonna tap on the product, and then I'm just gonna use this little compartment here to really work the product in and to spread it across the brush. And then I'm just gonna use my usual motions to apply the product. I'm just using round motions. I can immediately see the difference. Okay, now I can see what Nikki LaRose was talking about. So the sponge, it's not bad at all, especially if you're out and about and you cannot take with you a big brush. You can totally use this one and it's going to look fine. But the difference between this side and this, it's quite huge, but in a sense, if you are out in the daylight and someone is sitting right next to you, this side would look much heavier than this one. Probably you cannot see the difference on the camera because these lights are so bright, but this looks very flawless and beautiful. This one looks a little bit more heavy, but I really like the left side. I think it looks more natural, basically. And for my dry skin, I actually prefer this look. I don't like matte, very high coverage foundations usually, but I really like the packaging. I really like the mirror. I actually like the sponge. It's not a bad sponge. I really like that you get this compartment here, and I don't mind the way this foundation is stored, basically. I actually like everything about this one so far. Now let's just check out the transfer proof side of the foundation, because everyone is doing that and I really want to see. Oh my god, I really thought it's going to transfer because I have like oil underneath. Oh wow, it's like nothing. It's like nothing. Now we have to see how other products are working on top of this foundation, and then we are going to do a test wear. I've done my eyes, I've done my lips. Now let's move on to the bronzer. I've decided to try some different formulas, starting with the powder formula. This is from Pat McGrath Labs. I'm gonna bronze up my face. I haven't used any setting powder on top of foundation just because I really wanted to see how a powder works on top. And because this is more kind of a matte foundation, there's no problem whatsoever. You can see that everything blends in really, really effortlessly. I'm just going a wrong way around, but on purpose. Now I'm gonna use the Rare Beauty Liquid Blush in the shade Happy. But I'm just like really playing with makeup, really trying to see what works and what doesn't. As you probably already know, you have to go like liquid on liquid or cream on cream, then powder it, and then going with the powder product on top. And now let's just see if it's going to work or not. Forever Glow Maximizer from Dior in the shade Pink. For me, this is like too matte of a finish. I need a glow. I need my skin to like really look alive. That worked. That actually worked. All right, what do we think? Okay, so I would say that the shades are a bit darker than you would think, because yeah, I was like really contemplating on which shade to buy, and I thought this is going to be perfect, and it's actually working right now in the summertime, but it is a bit too dark for me, and it has that more kind of a yellowy undertone, even though that this is supposed to be like a neutral, because it's 21N, that means neutral. And also it oxidizes a tiny bit, so keep in mind that. Otherwise, I'm quite surprised by this foundation, because even though that my skin is super dry and I have some like problematic areas right now, it performed really well. Like personally, I wouldn't set this foundation at all because it's so matte already, and for everyday use I wouldn't set anything. For camera I should set a little bit my T-zone, but I decided not to do so because I really want to see how it's going to wear, and how it's going to look and feel after 10 hours. It's kind of a revolutionary type of product. It's really interesting. It's really innovative. Feels different. It feels a little bit futuristic even. But I would so like to have like the same foundation that performs the same in just a tiny bit more hydrating dewy formula, and I don't know if that can happen because the nature of the dewy formulas, they transfer, they are not as long lasting, so I don't know if that's even a possibility. If you are going to buy this product, you have to know that this is a matte foundation. You cannot expect a glow, a really thin, light, non-existing type of foundation, because it is high coverage foundation, it's transfer proof, it's long lasting, it is a it's a makeupy foundation, if you know what I mean. You cannot avoid that. They also have one that is super matte and super long lasting. It's in a pink packaging. That pink, it's super pretty, but yeah, it's no need to try that one out because this one is already very matte for me. So I think that if you have dry skin, you don't need to worry about this foundation. You can still wear it. Maybe it's not going to be your cup of tea for everyday look, because it can look then maybe a bit heavy, but for an evening look, this can maybe, let's hope so, be one of the best foundations, because if it's so long lasting and transfer proof, then yeah, like that's every girl's dream, you know, for her makeup to really stay on for a full evening or a night out. So yeah, let's see how it's going to look like in 10 hours. It's 10 hours later. I've slept for 2 hours on my face, turning around. I was out, and let's just see how everything looks. I mean, it looks... So maybe a little bit of oils came through right here because I haven't used any powder or fixing spray on top. I mean, but just a tiny bit. It looks like I've just applied it. It's not even... It's not breaking down anywhere. Still, I would argue that my left side looks better than my right side, but otherwise I'm super happy with it. But I will have to buy the porcelain shade, so the lightest shade, because this is going to be very soon too dark for me. I'm highly recommending it. If you have dry skin in the summertime, this one is going to work for you. Even if you have dry skin in the summertime, this is going to work for you. It's going to last for a whole day. It's not going to transfer. And this is really good to know because right now in this heat, every time I put on my makeup, when I'm talking on the phone, I basically pull off half of my foundation with my phone, so I'm super happy for that. But yeah, highly recommending this one. I love it. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then don't forget to like and to subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, because in that way you support me. And have a lovely day. See you in my next video. Bye.